What's up? It's Matt. Welcome back for another episode of MPTV. This time, you're stuck with me, with moi. We're going to talk a little business about a attention audit that we do at restaurants and the 6 stats that come out of it. And I'm going to warn you, it's staggering. It's insane. So while you're watching this, if you're watching or when you're listening, make sure you go to this site later on. It's a page on our website that we created recently. It's not even on the menu, but you can go to americasbestrestaurants.com/stats, STATS. I got a computer off here to the side because I want to talk through what it's all about. And we're going to overlay on this on the video, what I'm talking about down the road when you watch it, when all the fancy editing's done, because Matt Platt doesn't do that. The team knows how to make magic happen. So in this episode of MPTV, I want to talk about these stats and walk you through why it's important to me and why it's also the underlying reason behind my next book. So I've got a saying that I like to talk about. Outsmart or outspend. You as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a restaurant, as a small business, as a gym, as a marketing firm, you have 2 choices. You can either outsmart your competitors or you can outspend them. Well, that's the thesis, the idea behind my new book. And the working title, it was originally going to be Outsmart or Outspend, how to attract, build, and retain your customers' attention. I'm now thinking about making it, you can't outspend, so you might as well outsmart. And what I'm talking about are the tactics in your marketing that you should be taking every day to help you get a leg up on the competition. Now, here's the good news. 95 to 97% of independent and chain restaurants suck at what I'm about to talk to you about. So what happened was about 4 years ago, when I started dealing with restaurants, I had an audit that I did internally that when they would call me up and say, Matt, we need your help, we want some advice, I would look at 6 key factors. And there was more than that originally, but I narrowed it down to 6 because they all had their own little reason. The first one was a mobile-friendly website. I thought, and still do, that if a business is going to reach out to me and want help with their marketing, and they do not have a mobile-friendly website in this day and age, because my first website was in 1999 I built. My first mobile-friendly website was about 10 to 12 years ago. If you're sitting here in 2022 without a mobile-friendly website, the last person you need to be talking to is Matt Platt, because my goal and our company's goal is to drive attention to your brand, to help you build a database, and then help you retain that database. Attract, build, retain. If the place I'm going to help drive attention to sucks, AKA a non-mobile friendly website, you know what? Go fix that first and come back. So that was one of the metrics. The next metric was when I go to your website, is there a tool on there to help me give you my information? Business is about consummating a sale, trading something back and forth. If I go to call your business tomorrow and it rings 30 times, you just made that difficult. If I call your business and it rings once and that person says, like I heard an example the other day, did you have the best night of your sleep the other night? No, I actually didn't. Great. Why don't you go ahead and set up an appointment to come in and we'll make sure you get a mattress that's guaranteed to give you the best sleep of your life. That happened the other day to a friend of mine and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So the concept of a website, back to my point, is that when somebody comes there, you want to give them information. Well, one of the key things for me is that business, in our case, restaurant, using that website to grab data, because data is the key to your business long term. If you go to sell your restaurant in a couple of years and you have a database of 1,000 people or 50,000, you've got a much larger asset. If you go to market your business a little better and you got to consistently spend money on acquiring people's attention, it's tougher. It's more expensive. Remember, outsmart or outspend. But if you spend your money and time and effort getting a database, now you can go back to your database and drive business. So that's the aspect there. The next part is taking that same tool from the website to in-store. If I walk into your business, to your restaurant, to your car dealership, to your chiropractor, whatever it is there an easy way for me to give you my information? It shouldn't be hard. We were doing this back in the early 2000s with our boat dealership. We used a program back then called ACT, We eventually upgraded to a system powered by Power Sports Network, which eventually was bought by Auto and Boat and RV Trader. But I mean, we're talking 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We were using in-store data gathering then. And guess what? Right now, we'll get to these stats in a second, but 94% of y'all in the restaurant business aren't using it now. How is it that Matt Plapp was using something 20 years ago that you're not using today? Makes no sense. The next aspect is even more important than, it's as important, I guess you could say, as having the tool, but even more important because you want to use it. Are you asking people, when people walk into your restaurant, are you doing what it takes to create an engaging conversation that at the end of the day gets you closer to dating that customer? Because that's what it's all about. I got this ring on my finger. Christy, my wife, back in college, I guess I should know this, 98. In Morehead State University. I attracted her attention. I then asked for her dorm number and her room number and asked if I could call her. I then asked her on a date. We dated. We eventually got engaged. We got married. We had kids. Here we are 26 years later. That all started with me engaging a conversation to get her data. It's no different than your restaurant. Your goal is not to have a bunch of one-night stands inside your four walls, I hope. It's to create relationships and start dating people so that down the road, that person is coming all the time. The next part is, are you using that data in a manner conducive to 2022? And what I mean is, are you using automation? There's a lot of really cool stuff. There's a lot of things happening in marketing nowadays that allow you to automate conversations. And then the last part is your social media engaging? So these were the 6 things that I developed years ago to help me understand if a restaurant was worth talking to, because if they're not taking certain aspects serious, like a mobile website, why the hell are you talking to me? And then the next part of that is, if you are doing a mobile-friendly website, what are you doing now to accomplish the next 5? Because that's what we specialize in. We specialize in ABR, attract, build, retain. I want to help small businesses, in our case, restaurants, independent restaurants, attract attention to their brand. I then want to leverage that attention to build a database. And then from building that database, I want to help them retain their customers' attention, because it does no good to build a database and then abuse the heck out of it and never have those customers come in. That's what happens. Restaurants right now, if I go to a random restaurant and say, hey, you know what? Here's 5,000 people. We're going to help you 2 months, massively expand your database, get 5,000 people in it. And then we're going to leave and let you use it. If they use it, they're more than likely going to send emails every week puking on the customer about their restaurant. Here's what we do. Here's how awesome we are. Here's our menu. Here's how much you can spend with us. Blah, 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 blah. We are experts in retaining attention, having conversations through email and text and even social media that restaurants aren't having with their customers, which is why we're able to retain people's attention way more often. You see how I brought that back around? It's a big circle. Attract, build, retain attention. Because if you're consistently having to go out and get attention on the front end all the time, that means you're buying advertising. Buying advertising gets expensive. You can't outspend Chick-fil-A. You can outsmart them, but you can't outspend them. Okay, so let's talk about the stats. So I'm sitting here looking at it right now. Again, it's americasbestrestaurants.com/stats. Has a mobile-friendly website. Oh, I guess I should tell you this part. I didn't think about this. When we talk to restaurants, meaning when we go and visit with them, we visit a lot of restaurants. We have a couple crews across the country. When we have conversations on Zoom, when we have phone calls, when I visit a restaurant to eat at, when my employees do, we fill out a form. We have an online form that our team only has access to, and we put on there restaurant name, date, website address, Facebook address, and then answer these 6 questions. First one is, do they have a mobile-friendly website? All that data then goes to a sheet which populates this website, this page. And this for us was used originally just to help us judge if this was a place we should be talking to and at what level we can help them. Because that's an important factor. If you're going to invest money in a company like ours, what benefit do they bring to the table? If you already have a mobile-friendly website, you have a tool on your website gathering data, if you have a tool inside your restaurant, if you've got a database that's 20,000 people, if your social media is massively engaging, and if you're using high-tech automations via Facebook, Instagram, text, email, you might not need me. And so what we look at is, hey, here's what we bring to the table. Here's what we cost. Here's what it costs to hire us. Here's the tactics we're going to employ. Here's the gaps we're going to fill. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Most time it's really worth the squeeze, but there are instances where it's like, hey, bro, you got this. Here's a couple little tweaks. Call me for advice, but go kill it. So that's where this comes from. So it populates this. And then what got me thinking about this was about 4 months ago, I kept trying to explain to restaurants what I was talking about with this audit. And I said, you know what? I'm going to show you the stats. We never had actually added the stats up. We just looked at it on an individual basis. So we started with creating a little dashboard, and then we put it on this website. And I'm going to change up some of the text. Depends on when you watch or hear this. I got some things I want to change on here, but there's a video that talks about the web page and the stats. So right now, as we sit here, as we record this, what is today's date? Today is February 3rd. Is that right? 2nd. 3rd, 2022. 74% of the restaurants that we have surveyed through the attention audit, I guess we've audited through the attention audit, not surveyed, have a mobile-friendly website. Think about that. That means 1 out of every 4 restaurant websites in 2022 are not mobile-friendly. That's a deal breaker. That makes absolutely no sense. People need to be able to navigate your website really damn easy on this phone. They also need to be able to order really easy on your phone. They need to look at your menu really easy on their phone. They need to give you their data really easy on their phone. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time there, but that's concerning. And as you'll see these stats, it gets even more concerning because these are ranked how I look at them. The next thing is people coming to your website. I was actually looking at the stats for a client we work with the other day. They have gotten 8,900 people in their 5 locations through a tool that we put on their website. It's a 1-line piece of code, about that long. Pop it in the header. When people go to the website, it pops up and asks them something really exciting. Do you want XYZ for free? There's a guy named Alex Hermosi who calls it a grand slam offer. Make the offer so good, they feel stupid saying no. Do you want a free burger? Do you want a free waffle? Do you want a free ice cream cone? Okay, I thought you did. Click here to get it. They click it, it goes in, it gets data, and guess what? On our end, puts it in automation. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But right now, 34% of businesses, restaurants, this is all about restaurants, 34% of restaurants have a tool on their website to collect data. So it's way worse than the 74. So that means, my math is correct, 6 out of 10 restaurants do not have something on their website to get data. Now, I'll also tell you this. 3/4 of the ones that have something, it sucks. Was on one this morning. Asked for my email address. That's it. So all you're asking for is my email. You don't care my name. Hey, you, come to my restaurant. You don't care about my gender, male or female. How you talk to my wife or me is night and day. You don't care about my cell phone number, which is the easiest way to reach me. You just got to know how to use it. You don't ask about visit frequency. Am I a new customer or lost customer frequent? It's just, hey, you, open my email. And the last but not least, you don't get a birthday. And that actually is probably one of the more popular. There's 2 things we see in a lot of restaurants' websites. The hey you email form, which all they ask for is email, and then a birthday. So now the next part is in store. And this is the part that crushes my soul. It's a kick to the throat. If you've seen MacGruber, it's a throat rip. It makes absolutely no sense. Businesses should do whatever it takes to get the people's information that have taken the hardest step, and that is coming to your business and giving you money. When somebody gives you money, that is the ultimate form of trust from a standpoint of B2B, B2C. They handed you their check. They handed you cash. They handed you a credit card. They trust you're going to do the right stuff, and they're going to get something they value in exchange. When you look at this in person, because Amazon's made it real easy, 1 click to give them money. When you look at this in person, I just got back from grabbing lunch. I had to get in my car. I had to decide of one of the many options to go to. I had to drive there, park, get out of my car, walk inside, wait in line, place an order, give them money, and leave. I took a lot of steps to get to your business. Let's just say pizza. If I were to drive home today, I would pass no less than 20 pizza restaurants. I live about 4 miles down the street. So I've got 20 pizza restaurants. What makes me pull into one of them? A lot of times, for me, it's attention. They've got my attention. They've got a brand I like, and I know what I'm going to get. And I trust that it's going to be a great experience, great product, and a good occurrence, a good transaction. But at the end of the day, if you don't collect my information, the people who make that big jump, what the hell are you waiting for? Right now, 94% of restaurants are not putting a tool in place in their restaurant to get data. And of the 6% that are, half of it's a lame app. I'm sorry, if you got an app, you spend a bunch of money on it, you're all excited, you love it. Nobody else does. People don't use apps. New customers don't download your app. Lost customers who haven't been in a while and walk back in for whatever reason don't download your app. The people who download your app are the hardcore frequent customers. That's cool. It's a small segment of your population. You got to have tools that include everybody. The last thing you want in your business is a tool that excludes most of the people. And what we've seen is that most businesses, the 6%, pretty sad, that have a tool inside their four walls to gather data, half, if not more than those, probably 50 to 75% is some type of app or loyalty program that X's out the majority of the people that are in your restaurant. So let's talk about the next part, because this is even crazier. That only 3% right now are asking people to join. So here's what happens. This is the 3-question sequence that happens at every restaurant across the damn land. You walk in the business. Hey, how you doing? I get to line. Hey, what do you want to order today? I get to the register. Hey, how you paying? You don't give a shit how I'm doing. You have to know what I need to eat, so you have to ask that. There's no choice there. And then you've got to get money because your boss told you, and it's pretty common sense. Why is it as not common sense, as much common sense, I guess you could say, that on the front of that conversation or piggybacked before you get money is a question that gets data? Think about this. Here's how it goes. Matt Plapp walks into your restaurant. I walk up in the line. It's a fast casual brand. Instead of asking me the question that nobody cares about, how you doing? Matt, are you here to get a burger or taco today? Strange combination, I know. I'm here to get a burger, bro. Okay, real quick, before we get any farther, have you been here before? Yeah, I've been here. Okay, great. Are you a member of the Burger VIP Club? I'm not. What is that? Okay, before we get started, do me one favor, because I'm going to guess that you would love a burger free next week. Okay, dumb question, I know. Do this. Scan this code. It's going to ask you 5 questions in Facebook Messenger, and it's going to deliver to you in a couple hours 4 unbelievable Grand Slam offers. 4 things you got to have. It's going to give you a dessert, a burger, an appetizer, and a drink, because we want to bribe you to get you back in here more often and see how awesome this brand is. Now that we got that out of the way, appreciate you joining, my man. What do we have today? Boom, 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 boom. Is that the burger you want? Great. Cash or credit? Credit. Go ahead and swipe in there. Done. You know how easy that is. It gives you a more engaging conversation with your customer. It finds out more about them. It gets their data. It gives them something to be excited about. And then you can not hope and pray anymore, because you might hope and pray now that that person comes back next week for the burger. Now you have a tactic in place to get them back, which is by inviting them. Because that's why a lot of people don't do business with you right now. You don't invite them. And that's what we're going to teach you. That's the goal of ABR. Attract, build, retain. So now the retain part comes in the next 2 parts. So now we're on to utilizes email and text automation. And we should add in there social media automation, but it's harder to judge because of this reason. What I'm talking about is that conversation I just told you where Matt Plapp signs up for your burger club. The minute that happens, he's communicated with in Messenger and his information is gained and stored somewhere, and he's logged in a customer management system we call Database Dynamite. Coming to you soon. Shameless plug. So when that happens, it also fires off an email and text campaign that's going to take that customer on a journey for 90 days. It's going to put them in a place where they get an email to text at this time, then one more here and here, then one more here and here, and in Messenger. But also it's going to tie in Facebook and Instagram. And then you're on ESPN looking, and there's an ad that comes to the Audience Network from Facebook. We're going to find you. But more importantly, we're going to find you based on who you are. There's different ads maybe for male or female. There's different ads for a new customer, lost customer, frequent customer. New customer might need to know your hours, your menu, and how to do business with you. A frequent just needs a high five, and a lost customer needs a hug. So when I talk about automation, is that automation that happens when, well, if that transaction happens. Because right now, 97% of y'all aren't even asking. 94% of y'all don't even have a tool in-house. And 64% of y'all don't even have the tool on your website, which is another question I just thought of. That means that 28% of the people who have a tool on their website don't give a shit about the people inside the restaurant. You get me? Because you got the tool, whatever lame tool it is, you just ain't using it in the restaurant, the most important spot. Okay, break time. Restaurant owners, you're watching MPTV, so you're obviously interested in increasing your sales and profits. But what if I told you you could eliminate the hope and pray out of your marketing? You could spend money and actually see results. You know, most marketing starts with attention, like a billboard. The problem is that attention leads nowhere. That's why we created the ROI Engine Restaurant Program. We take attention and gain huge engagement, whether it's in-store or online. We help you build a database with deep customer information that's comprised of email, cell phone, and birthday. And then we drive them into the restaurant with trackable results. Yes, results you can actually see. If you're interested and want to have a conversation, check out restaurantmarketingthatworks.com. Worst case scenario, you get a lot of great ideas. Now back to the show. So that's the conversation there. So utilizing that automation to get people, keep their attention. Money follows attention. If you have 1,000 people that see your brand 10 times in the next 12 months, that's going to drive X amount of visits. If you have that same 1,000 people that see you 100 times in the next 12 months, guess what? You just 10x'd your visits. Grant Cardone would like that one. And then guess what? If you, instead of ignoring building a database, that 1,000 is 10,000. Look at that. 1,000 times 10, that's 10,000 impressions. What if you 10x both things? You reach them more often and you get more people. 10,000 times 1,000. See what I'm talking about? You just multiplied and stacked attention. And when you stack attention, you stack more money. It's why I talk about working smarter with your marketing. You can outsmart them or you can outspend them. In this case, it's easy to outsmart about everybody out there because none of y'all are doing the right stuff. Last but not least, gains social media engagement. So that is on there because we are badasses when it comes to gaining social media engagement. And so when we run across a brand that wants to work with us, like before I came in the studio, I had a 2-location restaurant text me and go, Matt, can we hop on a call? I want to talk to you. I send a text back with a link to a form for them to fill out, and then I will investigate and we'll go from there. I'll have a conversation with them, but I want to be equipped with what I need to know before I talk. But part of that is we look at social media engagement. When I go to Facebook and Instagram, like a restaurant 2 days ago, they had 11,000 fans on Facebook. Their average post the past month had about 10 likes, very few shares, and a couple comments. That means that you do not have social media engagement, which means you need a lift. You need somebody to come in and help you hack the algorithm, help you get that attention back. Because what good does it do that you, oh my God, I got 11,000 fans, when the only person liking your stuff is your mom? Trust me, been there, done that. I don't get crazy engagement in some of the stuff I do online. My mom loves it all. Like literally she's a sharing machine. Well, if you're a restaurant or retail business, that people have a deep engagement or deep reason to engage, but you're not getting it, that's a problem. So when I look at the stats as they sit right now, and when you're watching this or when you're listening to this and looking at the site, americasbestrestaurants.com/stats, STATS, you're going to see what they are. Right now, 74%, which means 1 out of every 4 restaurants doesn't have a mobile-friendly website. 34% on a tool on the website to gather data, which means basically a little more than 6 out of 10 restaurants don't have a way on the website to grab people's data. Even scarier is that 26% don't have a website that's even mobile friendly, which would make it harder to grab data because everybody's on their damn phone now. Then you go to 6% in-store tool in the store. Then you go to 3% are actually using it. Then you go to 15% that have the automation hooked up. And by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. That actually is about 1%. And what I mean by that is I don't consider automation that's, I go to your website, you have a birthday program, I sign up and I get a one-off birthday email a week before my birthday, and that ends the conversation. Automation to me is how Fords are built in a factory, is that things happen over and over and over in a repeated sequence to a finished product. The finished product is Matt Platt becoming a crazy loyal customer to your restaurant, or the customers down the street becoming a crazy loyal restaurant. That doesn't happen with one lane reminder for my birthday. It happens with emails and texts and Facebook and Instagram. So smart automation, as I like to call it inside our 4 walls, is having something in place that does that. So yeah, 15% have some mechanism when they're getting that data, but not much. And then last but not least, social media. 19%. 19% right now are getting good, solid traction on Facebook and Instagram, which means 8 out of 10 of you aren't. So when you look at this, I want you to judge yourself, because when I look at it, I firmly believe you got to be a 4 to a 4.5 to actually be rocking and rolling. There's very few people that are a 5 or a 6. But if you're a 4 to a 4.5, because if you look at it right now, I'm not a mathematician, but I guess basically, if I take away the mobile-friendly website and just look at the data and the social media and the automation, I mean, it's only about 15% when you combine all those things together. You cobble them all. Only about 15% are doing any of it, and really all of it, only about 5%. So if you can, that means the average restaurant is probably a 1.5 out of 2 right now, or 1.5 to 2 out of 6. If you can get to a 4 to 4.5, you're going to be doing some badass stuff. If you can get to a 5 to a 6, I want you to close your eyes and paint a picture in your head. A beautiful mobile-friendly website that when you go to it, it gives you a strong call to action. It makes everybody feel bad, dumb, for not saying, hell yeah, I want it. And then when they're on that site, they can easily navigate to a menu that is pictures and videos and easy to see and not a PDF. They can order on the site for pickup if they want. That way they can pull up like I do with Better Blend. I think they used App Mango or something like that. Used to have Toast, but I could literally go on their phone, order my smoothie, my bowl, drive up, grab it, and leave. The next step is we already talked about the website having that tool, but I walk in your restaurant and I'm brand new. Which, by the way, I did some research the other day. About 20% of the people we're seeing walk into our clients' restaurants have never been there, and 35% have not been in a while, because they're joining in store and then answering that question. How often do you come to the restaurant? Never been, very rarely, all the time. We now know new, frequent, or lost. So 50% to 60% of the people walking in your restaurant are new or lost. And so those are the people whose data you need. So are you passing that test? So you're in a perfect world. I walk up to the hostess, she sits me down. Your server will be over here. By the way, are you a member of Matt's Madness Club? You're not. Do me a favor before your server gets here. Scan this. By the way, when you scan this, it's going to do this, this, and this. But also, we have a thing going on right now that if you join while you're here, you get your drinks free. Soft drinks, not alcohol. I know. Sounded pretty cool. Soft drinks is even better, right? Cool. Go ahead and join. So now I was asked to join. You got my data. And the cool part about it, a lot of times you can sit there and watch them do it. Because if you give them instructions and point it out, they'll do it. If you tell them, hey, scan this QR code that does something, and you walk away, they don't do it. And then the next part is when that person does that cool automation, that 5 minutes later when they get on their phone to check Facebook, they see one of your retargeting videos. When they go to check their email, they have an email thanking you for joining. When they look at their text message, they say, hey, Matt, we appreciate you joining the program. Look forward to your next visit. By the way, we see that you're in the restaurant now. Click here to tell us how we did. And then last but not least, your social media has customers flocking to it to engage. Now I'm going to give you a really cool way to end this. Social media engagement. Best place to get social media engagement is from the people that know, like, and trust your brand. We've established the best place to find people who know, like, and trust your brand is inside your four walls. Today, Matt Plapp has his office socks on. I had the Pop-Tart ones yesterday. I thought I had Pop-Tarts. One of my favorite questions, engagement, is Pop-Tarts. Do you toast your Pop-Tarts or not? So what you can do to get engagement is every week, every couple weeks, have a post on Facebook that is controversy. Pineapple on pizza. Flats or drums. Wings or boneless. Dry cereal or cereal with milk. By the way, my son doesn't eat cereal with milk. It kind of creeps me out, but he doesn't. No, my daughter, I mean. Cole does. He's normal. Do you toast your Pop-Tarts, yes or no? So there's all these little things that we can have fun with.
Restaurant owners, did you know Matt has free online marketing courses that teach you how to successfully market your restaurant? Email support@mattplapp.com to get access to the courses and a free social media content calendar.
But your servers could walk up to a table and go, okay, you guys got to settle something for me. I don't know if you come here much. I think you do. Question of the week. How many Skittles are in this bowl? Don't tell me. Scan this code or just go to our Facebook page. You'll see the post on there. It's pinned to the top. Comment how many. We're giving away a gift card to everybody that comments and the best answer. Tell us if you toast your Pop-Tarts. Tell us if you're a pineapple on pizza person or not. You could do some cool things in a restaurant to get rid of the BS question, how you doing? You can drive social media engagement and you can grow your brand because money follows attention. If you get more attention via text and email versus and Facebook and Instagram and online and in store, then your business will grow. That's all I got. We just wrapped up another episode of MPTV. Again, you can check out americasbestrestaurants.com/stats to see what I was just talking about. But I appreciate you spending some time with me. Remember, take one thing or three things away. Attract, build, retain. ABR. Wake up every day and think, how can I ABR my restaurant? How can I attract attention? How can I build a database? And how can I retain the customers who I already have? That's all I got. I'll see you next episode.